We stopped by Aorus and we wanted to check out the X5 among other things. They have some of the most powerful laptops on the planet. This is the most powerful 15-inch laptop I've ever seen. We have two GTX 965Ms, and when you put two of those together, it's more powerful than a single GTX 980M. And we get almost the performance of like a desktop graphics card, which is pretty awesome. The panel, 3K with NVIDIA G-Sync, and you can play a lot of games at the full 3K with that graphics card combination. Also, we have 3 SSDs in RAID under the hood, up to 1,500 megabytes per second. One of the craziest things for this is they've crammed so much hardware under the hood. They've also crammed hardware acceleration for streaming. So it's going to work with XSplit and also Open Broadcaster, but it's not official for Open Broadcaster yet, but should work for Open Broadcaster as well. And then you'll be able to stream without losing any FPS in your games. The last thing that's pretty crazy about all this is the weight. It's only 5.5 pounds. So it's like 5.5 pounds for a ridiculous amount of hardware crammed into a very small computer with an extremely thin, look at the monitor is extremely thin on this. So
it's like a normal laptop.
Yeah, it is. It's like a normal laptop, but then you're like, oh, it's good. We got 2 graphics cards and some other hardware in there, and crazy fast stuff and separate cooling, and it's just I don't even understand how they cram that much stuff into that. So pretty extreme laptop right there.
You guys at home with your Titan X's and your Quadros, no, this is a $5,000 video card. $5,000. What this does for you is it makes the special effects in Premiere run at lightning speed. It basically does 32-bit acceleration for special effects. Now, if you guys have been following us for a long time, we sort of showed you how to accelerate stuff in Premiere and After Effects, and it works as long as it's a 16-bit special effect. But this actually, when you're dealing with Quadro and professional graphics, you need acceleration with 32-bit numbers. And so that's how After Effects is built, that's how Premiere is built. So if you want to run 4K real time, this is how you do it. This is also an 18-core, 36-thread Xeon system with the newest Intel NVMe 2 GB per second SSD. This thing is crazy fast. And so what they've done is they've loaded up 4K video in the red, like the red raw 4K codec. And as a result of that, if they turn off GPU acceleration and you try to do the basic special effects, I mean, all we're really doing here is we've got a mask running, there's a color corrector running. It's not really like super crazy, but it is special effects. If we run this with CPU only acceleration, it is dog slow. And it maxes out the CPU, and that's even with 18 cores. But with the $5,000 graphics card, it unlocks the GPU, and the thing runs at full speed, basically. Now, the important thing here, you could do this forever on a custom graphics workstation, but these solutions are NVIDIA certified now, so graphics professionals can buy the stuff, and it's certified by NVIDIA, and all the Creative Suite stuff is going to work, and it's all been tested and checked, and it's certified.
We found Leon here at Gigabyte, and there's a lot of motherboards, especially the Z170. So what's new?
So right here, guys, we're looking at the Z170X Gaming G1. Now, off the bat, there's an immense amount of features, and we'll try to touch them as we go over them. So starting from the top of the board, you can actually see for the heatsinks, there's already threaded barbs. This is something that we've incorporated previously with our gaming motherboards, and this allows people who are interested in customizing to do customized liquid cooling builds. This is one of the features that we have here. You can see around the heatsink all the power phases that are inside as well. Moving down from the board, before we get to the rear I/O, you can actually see we have a turbo B clock here. Now, what the turbo B clock is about, basically, all of our boards, we focus on a lot of things with our motherboards, from ultra durable, from overclocking to gaming. This turbo B clock, what it does is basically, it gives us a more linear ratio for our straps. So versus our traditional 5% range around our 100 megahertz, 133 megahertz for our B clock, we can now choose something that's maybe 120, 110, 115, and jump around as we would, and then tweak with the multiplier.
Yeah, that's something that's mainly exclusive for Skylake. I had a bit of trouble with the last generation trying to mess with the B clock. So I just said, you know what, I'm just going to do multiplier. So have you guys had more luck with the latest generation?
So definitely, we do see that some chips might be more might be more stable with different B clocks, and we know that people played with the multipliers more often because they had that issue with the multiplier and not being stable when they tweaked this the base clock around something that wasn't this preset straps.
Yeah. Cool. All right, now I also noticed you guys have really added some rigidity here, and that's going to be nice for really large graphics cards.
Yes.
So this is, what is it, like a steel plate on here?
So this is actually a metal shielding. Now, this metal shielding has actually multiple functions. Basically, what it does is for graphics cards nowadays, they get bigger and bigger, heavier and heavier. And what it does, first of all, it protects the graphics card from ripping the PCI slot off the PCB. And secondly, these pins are actually grounded, so this whole slot will prevent any ESD discharge from any shorts off of the board or from the card itself. We have two M.2s, and one of the big benefits of that is now you can do RAID. We have a RAID functionality, so you can actually use the speed and throughput of both M.2s to power your system. And jumping back to the op-amp now, audio side, there's a lot to cover. Of course, this is a gaming board. With all of our gaming boards, we focus on two main qualities. One thing is network speed, because gamers like to go online, they like to play their games, they need to do streaming, they need a fast network. Secondly, gamers who do first-person shooters, they usually like good audio because they want to hear footsteps. On the audio side, guys, you can actually see that there's a separation for the PCB, this section right here, as well as when we flip it over, you can see it more clearly on the back. Now, these yellow dots right here are LEDs, and this time around with our LEDs, we made it so they were RGB. You basically have 7 colors you can choose and work with, and of course the different modes. Your breathing mode, which is your pulse mode, your beat mode, and of course off if you choose to. Not only that, on the other side, there's lighting as well now. It used to only be on the left bottom, now it's on the top right as well.
So you get a nice glow in the case then if you want?
Yep, overall, so it'll be a nice look and feel. One of the other things when we're focusing on audio right now, you can see we've included more op-amps. So we had amp-up technology previously before. Now with the additional op-amps, what we've done is with our right and left channel, audio channel separated for the rear output, they have their own independent op-amps. On top of that, we now also have a front panel op-amp. So if you want, you can actually change that amplifier and have different characteristics from your front panel as well.
These are just the standard op-amps, so you can almost grab any op-amp you like, right?
Right, and this is very standard, so even in receivers that you guys have at home, or even if you want to go online to Amazon, eBay, you guys can find op-amps that'll fit this system.
Can you guys power like studio headphones, like 600 ohms?
600 ohms is not a problem. Right? Yes,
we do have. That was clear for everyone out there.
Yeah, sorry.
We have a lot of people out there in our audience, in particular, that do 250 and 600 ohm.
So for audiophiles, this is definitely a good board for you. Yeah. Of course, with the audio, we also have the gold plating on the back as well. This brings us around to the rear I/O also. So if you guys want to see, there's all these different connectors. Audiophiles, like I mentioned, these boards are great for you guys. We also have the yellow USB ports right here, and what it is for a USB DAC. If you haven't heard of Gigabyte's DAC up, this is what it is. These USB ports are on a separate power grid. So if you have a self-powered DAC and you want a clean audio signal, all you have to do is connect your DAC to this, shut off the power in the BIOS, and you'll get a clean signal straight to your external DAC.
Nice. And I see you also have Type C and Type A there.
So we have Type C, Type A, and we have two USB ports right here that are a little bit different that I want to cover. So with the Type C, USB 3.1 is definitely something that everyone's looking at right now. They want to be future-proof. They want to have compatibility. So what it is we've included a Type C as well as a Type A. That Type A is in the red connector.
Very awesome.
The white connector is actually our Q-Flash Plus. Now, this is a unique feature to Gigabyte. Q-Flash Plus basically allows you to flash the BIOS without even having to install memory or CPU.
Yeah, it's really handy, especially if you want to keep this board for a while and then upgrade your CPU. That's very nice.
Right. So on some of our boards like this one, and even on the higher end board that we had just now, you can see that it has dual NICs.
You still have dual NICs, all right.
Right. And
that's the killer dual NIC, right?
And this is actually our this is called Killer Doubleshot Pro. Right. Now, what it is actually two killer NICs, and we also have a third NIC that you can use through wireless. So this is actually 3 different network interfaces that you're able to utilize and packet prioritize through each channel that you want to go through. So let's say you're playing a game, you want to stream music at the same time, and you also have a cloud connection that you go through on your regular internet. Your game would come through that first NIC, your streaming would go through the second, and then your cloud link would actually go through the wireless.
Let's take a look at the ITX offering here. So you have the Z170N Wi-Fi.
Yes, so this is actually a mini ITX Z170N Wi-Fi, and you can actually see there's the wireless card right here with the connectors on the back that's already there. So the dongle's wireless is all in, and it's connected through M.2. So you're gonna have that bigger bandwidth, and you'll also have the large throughput coming from that AC connector.
Full-on PCI Express bus, yeah.
Yep. And then of course on the back, dual NICs for people who still are into LAN boxes, who do a lot of things with LANs. They sync with another computer. Definitely very versatile for them as well.
Yeah, it's really nice you guys are doing dual NICs even on the ITX.
Yep. All right, so with our ultra durable lineup, you can actually see that we've always incorporate a lot of our technologies from the higher end and bring it over. Ultra durable, it's just the same. And you can see we have a cool black and gold finish for our heat sinks. You also see the metal shielding incorporated, brought over from our gaming series, because ultra durable, you're going to be using heavy-end, high-end graphics cards as well. They're heavy. And we also have our turbo B clock. So like I mentioned earlier, B clock, overclocking, gaming, all of these are things that Gigabyte motherboards are great at. It's not just one segment.